It's time to rank all the Pixar movies, from Toy Story all the way to Coco, all the way to Ratatouille, all the way to the other corners of the Pixar verse. Let's get right into it, shall we? What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Diz TV. If this is your first time here, welcome home. We are so glad to have you. Today, like I mentioned, we're ranking all 23 of the Pixar films. Now, I know there is one coming later this year called Luca, which I'm very, very excited for. It will be available on Disney Plus relatively soon here. But might as well do this initial ranking, and don't worry, I will do one including Luca whenever that comes out. So let's get right into it, starting from number 23 all the way to my favorite at number 1. Also, if you notice a little change in audio as well as quality, it's because I got a new camera. So this is the first video I'm testing it with that. Super excited to have this new camera. It's the Canon EOS M50. Super happy to have it. But anyway, let's dive right into it, shall we? Kicking off our list at number 23 is Cars 2. There's a lot of things I have to say about this movie, and none of them are good. None of them are good. I really don't like this movie. It is not a lot to remember. The story is a huge, departure from the original Cars movie. Some of the stuff in it is good. The racing, things of that sort, the world tour, all that stuff is great, story and all that. But Mater's story, becoming a spy and all this stuff, I don't know, it doesn't fit the car universe. While it's cool in its own right, that we get to see another part of the Cars universe, I think just doing it separate from our cast of characters probably would have been a lot better. Coming in at 22 is The Good Dinosaur. This one came on a back-to-back release with Inside Out back in, I think it was 2015. And this was definitely the lesser of the two. This one, again, is just there's not a lot of memorable things in The Good Dinosaur. But overall, it was okay. It's pretty much dinosaurs as farmers and stuff or something like that. I could even be wrong. It's been a long time since I've seen the movie. Last time I watched it, it was in theaters, to put it that way. So, yeah, it was nothing really memorable. Coming in at number 21 is Brave. Now, I know a lot of people really do enjoy this movie, but I personally don't. I don't know. I think it's a very poor attempt by Pixar to try to come up with a new Disney princess. So much to the fact of, she's even joked upon in Ralph Breaks the Internet. The story was fine. The music is great. The song Touch the Sky is a fantastic song. But I don't know. I have many problems with this movie. Coming in at number 20 is Finding Dory. This one is pretty good, but it's more focused on Dory and her perspective. And it has some of the same flaws that Cars 2 does, with trying to divulge to the side character because they're more memorable in a sense, and that kind of what hurts the movie a little bit. Some of the stuff in this movie is great. We get some new cast of characters and get to see a new part of Dory's life that we never got to see in the first movie. Coming in at number 19 is Cars 3, the final, possibly, movie of the Cars saga. Sees Lightning McQueen in a very different role, as throughout the story, he's the old guy now. And while that is all good and fine and dandy, I wish we got more Radiator Springs. That was my one complaint with this movie, is that we didn't get a lot of the Radiator Springs people. We didn't get a lot of Sally, Luigi, Guido. It felt kind of off-putting, like they took a cookie, they broke it in half, they left part of it back in the cookie jar and ate half the cookie. I don't know, that's kind of how I felt throughout the movie. Some of the stuff is good, a lot of the homage to Doc Hudson, but other than that, it's alright. Coming in at number 18 is Soul, Disney Pixar's newest film as of March 2021. It's a pretty good film. We follow Joe Gardner as he discover what is the meaning of life, in a sense, as he's also talking to one of the other souls, 22, who's been here a while, who's trying to get back to Earth. but he's also trying to as well, so he doesn't die and, you know, moves on with his life. It's a pretty good film. Overall, it was enjoyable. Coming in at number 17 is Inside Out. Now, I know what you're thinking, why is it ranked so low? Well, the movie is very, very good. It's very enjoyable, and I do like it a lot, along with the characters. But I don't know, I feel like compared to some of the other ones, it kind of falls into the mix, into the lower category. It has a good story, it has a lot of great things that make this movie special, but personally, it's not one of my favorites. I don't know, I guess it's just a personal taste, not necessarily like, objectively this is bad. Then again, all these are kind of personal tastes, but for me, I just thought it was pretty good. Nothing more, nothing less. Coming in at number 16 is Monsters University. Again, I know what you're thinking. You rank this higher than Inside Out? What are you doing? I think Monsters University is a very underrated film. Yeah, sure, some of it is very, very weird, but it's a good step back into the Monsters universe. We get to see Mike and Sully, the origins of their relationship, and they're two of my favorite characters. To see that dynamic was really, really great. But overall, I really do like this film. I think it's a pretty great film. Coming in at number 15 is Toy Story 4. A lot of people don't like this film. I personally do. I think it's a pretty good film. Well, yes, there are some flaws, and yes, the ending does make me a little frustrated. I do enjoy this film for the sake of the fact that it's another journey back into the Toy Story universe, and we do get to meet some new characters. Ducky and Bunny are two of my favorite Pixar characters because of this movie, and it's just really enjoyable. The thing that bothered me the most is the sidelining of many of our favorite toys. Buzz, Jessie, Bullseye, Mr. Potato Head, Ham, Rex, all those guys. Coming in at number 14 is WALL-E. It is an enjoyable film. Robots in love is kind of weird, but it does work here. And the music for this, again, fantastic. I don't know, I don't see how people think it is one of Pixar's best. Coming in at number 13 is Coco. Pixar's first musical movie is really, really enjoyable. Everything from, again, the music, to the culture that we see, to all the stuff we get to learn and the characters is really memorable. The plot twist villain thing was very predictable. Some of that was predictable, some story moments, but other than that, I really like this film. Coming in at number 12 is A Bug's Life. This one, like Monsters University, is super underrated. This was the second Pixar movie ever made, and I really enjoy it. It gives us a great cast of characters. It has a good story, has a good heart, has a good message. And for me, I really, really like this film. I don't have any particular reason why. I just think it's a lot of fun. Moving on to number 11 is Onward. This film is really good. It almost cracked my top 10 a lot. Then again, it helps with the fact that it's Chris Pratt and Tom Holland in it. It's a solid, solid movie. It has great characters. It has a good story. And again, similar to Coco, but it has a lot of heart. And that's what makes this movie, for me, really, really special. At that number 10 is Toy Story 3. First things first, I think with the stage of life I'm in, I relate to this movie a lot. Just because of the fact that I'm in college, Andy's getting ready to leave for college, and things of that sort that really just makes this movie hit more home for me, right? At least currently. But it is a good film. Now, I've personally not been a huge fan of the way that toys are treated. It hurts, but it's like I hate seeing some of my favorite characters in pain. The plot twist villain is actually done really well in this, and also seeing his backstory, so you kind of sympathize with him. But it also had a moment where I almost hated Pixar. Oh, I think we all know that scene, you know, when they're in the trash and they're all holding hands and they're almost getting ready to die. I hated Pixar for doing that, but luckily they were saved. They're now with Bonnie now, and that So Long partner hits. And that kind of ends the Andy trilogy. Coming in at number 9 is Incredibles 2. This is another good film, and we waited very long for the sequel for this, but it's a good film. The highlight of this movie has to be Jack. Jack, such a great character, such funny moments in this movie that really make it good. It's a good story. Other than the plot twist villain, this one I I saw coming. I rarely see things coming because I'm so invested in the story, but this one I kind of saw coming. Overall, it's a good Pixar film. Coming in at number 8 is Up. Now, a lot of people say this is Pixar's masterpiece. It is a very good Pixar film. The first 10 minutes are some of the most heartbreaking moments in this movie. It is the most heartbreaking moments in this movie, not just in this movie, but in cinema in general. Of course, done by the lovely score that is Married Life by Michael Giacchino. And it's just done so well. I really do enjoy the story, the characters, just makes it one of the best. Coming in at number 7 is Cars, the first entry into what would end up being the Cars trilogy. This one is a good movie. I like this movie a lot. Again, fun characters, a fun story, a fish out of water story, but it makes for good storytelling, and it's just a lot of fun. That's what makes this movie for me. It's a lot of fun. It does have some good heart moments, but it's just so much fun. Coming in at number 6 is Ratatouille. This one is another good Pixar film. One that I don't watch, I think, enough, but I just really enjoy it even more every time I watch it. It's fun. It's just such a good film. I really do like it a lot. Characters are great. The story is great. And Remy's one of my favorite characters. It's a lot of fun, and it makes for a heck of a story. Coming in at number 5 is Finding Nemo. It's so good. The story, the characters, the animation, all of it is so well crafted into something truly special. Again, the characters are some of my favorites. I love Dory, I love Crush, I love Bruce. All of them are awesome. It is, in my opinion, one of Pixar's masterpieces. Coming in at number 4 is Toy Story. The first Pixar film is one of the best. We get introduced into the world of Andy's toys, and they are fun characters. I grew up on watching a whole bunch of Buzz and Woody, or as I used to call him, Woody Buzz. Every time I think about this movie, I just have a huge grin on my face of remembering the times of just watching this movie over and over and over and over again. Coming in at number 3 is The Incredibles. I love this film. This is just something different. It's a lot of fun, it has a lot of action, but most importantly, the way that each character is crafted is so well done by Brad Bird, the director. He just makes it so perfect to achieve that family dynamic, that each of them have that specific role for a reason, and it's just mind-boggling to what he was able to achieve. Coming in at number 2 is Toy Story 2. This is the one I watched the most when I was a little kid. I watched this movie over and over and over again. Like I said with Toy Story, this is the one I watched more. I love the characters. I love the follow-up. I love the story of it. We get to see a lot of Buzz in this film, which he's one of my favorite characters of all time. That makes for just a fun, and I just love every moment of this film. Everything from Woody and Jesse and Woody's Roundup and things of that sort, to the little Star Wars references, which as, you know, a 3-year-old I didn't get, but, you know, as a 19-year-old now, I get every single reference. It's one of my favorite movies. Coming in at number 1 is Monsters, Inc. This one actually changed very recently. Toy Story 2 has always been my personal favorite, but it hasn't been till like the past couple months where I've seemed to like Monsters, Inc. more. And the reason for that is I love Mike and Sully. I love their dynamic. They're 2 of my favorite characters. I don't know, it's such a fun film. I don't watch it a lot, but every time I do, I love it even more. Story is great. Characters are great. And it's just full of that Pixar magic. In my opinion, one of Pixar's masterpieces. Anyway, with that wraps up my ranking of all 23 Pixar movies. Let me know in the comments down below, what is your top 10? Let's pose that as the question of the day. What is your top 10 Pixar movies? Let me know in the comments down below. If you don't have a top 10, what is your top 5? I would love to hear it. Thank you all so much for watching. I really hope you did enjoy this video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up. I greatly appreciate it. And if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe down below and hit the bell to be notified for more videos on Disney, Pixar, Marvel, Star Wars, the parks, and so much more. I'll see you all in the next video. Have a magical day. Goodbye. I'm gonna watch a Pixar movie right now.